Some 300 people representing political parties, religious groups and security forces gathered in Ouagadougou on Friday for the start of talks to chart a way out of the political turmoil rocking Burkina Faso. 2 weeks ago, the Sahel country witnessed its second army takeover in less than 9 months. The National Forum, proposed by new junta leader Captain Ibrahim Traore, is due to appoint a transitional president to rule before power is eventually returned to civilians. Supporters of Traore are clamoring for him to be that man, although he has said he's not interested in the job. Several hundreds demonstrated Friday in the center of the capital to call for Traore to be appointed president.
The Campo Ma'an National Park in southern Cameroon is home to rich biodiversity. However, industrial projects around the park have increased the pressure on animals living there and sparked more frequent human-wildlife conflicts. The project, supported by NGO WWF, aims to enable a better cohabitation. The habituation project is a work that consists in following the gorillas all day long and to do so for years. It will bring them to progressively accept humans, and they will come to consider humans as a neutral element, as an element that does not constitute a danger for their safety. The general trend is growth, particularly of human activity, especially agriculture, the expansion of villages of crops which encroach on the territory of wildlife, which itself will come to use it and will cause damage, serious damage for the people who live there. On the one hand, economic damage, and on the other hand, loss of lives. This obviously fuels hostility and acts of retaliation. Some 20 complaints from victims have been recorded by the conservation services of the park. 80 to 90% of the attacks are attributable to elephants. Authorities try to educate the population on the benefits of wildlife conservation. In the case of Cameroon, people think that conservation does not bring them anything. We really need to strike a balance so that people understand that as we protect wildlife, development can also happen. Because there are tools like ecotourism that can be developed. And as populations organize themselves around these projects, they can earn direct benefits. In Campo Park, a forest stretching over 264,000 hectares near the border with Equatorial Guinea, the process for gorilla habituation is one of such projects. It was launched 10 years ago with the aim to develop ecotourism, which can generate income, and to encourage the inhabitants to take care of the environment. Local NGOs keep the pressure on the government for it to limit land concessions to agro-industrial companies and preserve wildlife natural habitats. A few hours after a national forum kicked off in Burkina Faso Friday, coup leader Captain Traore was unanimously appointed president of the transition. He was named by some 300 people representing political parties, religious groups and the security forces who gathered in Ouagadougou to chart the transition. The representatives also adopted Article 4 of the Charter, stressing that the term of the president of the transition will end once the leader elected after the 2024 presidential race will be sworn in. Captain Traore is not eligible to run for post-transition elections. He'd served as head of the junta since September 30, when he ousted Colonel Damiba. Nigeria's worst floods in a decade have so far forced 1.4 million people out of their homes, destroyed over 70,000 hectares of farmlands, and killed more than 500 people. As the country braces for more high-intensity rain, the National Emergency Management Agency spokesman blamed the high level of damage on violations of regional rules and construction near waterways. On Friday, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs announced the federal government had started to distribute 12,000 metric tons of food and non-food items to disaster-stricken regions. Floods have affected 31 of Nigeria's 36 states, including the capital.
Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister Demeke Mekonnen on Friday met with the US's Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa in Addis Ababa as a new effort to end fighting in Ethiopia's north gathers pace. Mike Hammer returned to the region on October 3rd ahead of African Union-backed talks between Addis Ababa and the Tigray People's Liberation Front rebels in South Africa. The talks aimed at achieving a pause in hostilities did not take place. After a 5-month truce that raised hopes for talks, fighting resumed on August 24th in northern Ethiopia. Both sides blame each other for starting the latest round of violence. The Ethiopian government and the rebels have both indicated willingness to participate in the talks. Fighting began in November of 2020 after forces loyal to the TPLF attacked a federal army base, killing troops and looting weapons. Human rights groups have accused the warring sides of committing atrocities.